So today's video, we're gonna change oil. Now, to change oil, on most cars you need an oil filter, whatever oil your car calls for, which you can find in your owner's manual, something to catch the oil, a funnel, and usually a wrench, the right size wrench for your oil drain plug, which we'll look at later. Mine's a 16 millimeter, yours may be different. The first thing you do is pop your hood. First thing you want to do is crack this open just so there's no resistance to the oil flowing out. What? Now the oil drain plug on my truck is right here. It'll look like it. That's where all the oil is going to come out of when you take that bolt out. Now you want to position your drain pan underneath it in a way where the oil will come out and go into the pan. Otherwise you're going to get oil everywhere, and it will shoot out a little bit once you open it. So then once that's in place, you get your socket wrench and you start loosening the drain plug. Once it gets loose enough, you can twist it with your hand. Oil will start to come out, so be careful and try not to burn yourself. Try not to lose the drain plug into your oil. It is messy, that's why I am wearing gloves. And there it goes. Alright, now that the oil is barely dripping, you got to see it there. You can go ahead and put the drain plug back in, just hand tight, because we are going to take it off one more time. And the next thing, just tighten it up enough to where it's not dripping. And the next thing we're going to do is replace the oil filter. So you got to locate your oil filter on your vehicle. Mine is way down here. Looks like that. Usually you have to completely take that off, and when you do, oil is going to come out, so you need to position your drain pan underneath where the oil is going to fall on your car. Alright, so you need to screw off the oil filter completely. Usually you can get them by hand. And once it gets loose, oil will start falling out of it. And it will be hot. So the new oil filter, you want to get some new oil and get it either on a rag or on your finger, and get the rubber completely coated in oil so it does not seize to where it screws into the engine. So once you have your oil filter screwed back on the new one, you want to tighten it about as hand tight as you can get it. You don't want to over tighten it. And now we're going to go back down to the oil drain plug and release the rest of the oil. So now we just have to take the oil drain plug off again, and you want to let all of the oil drain out. I usually let it go for 5-10 minutes just to make sure everything gets out. So now that there's no more oil dripping out, we can go ahead and put the drain plug back in. And this time you will tighten it completely down. And this is also another thing that you do not want to over tighten. Basically, when it gets tight, give it another about quarter turn, eighth of a turn, and that is all set. I usually wipe off the oil around the drain plug just so in case it does leak you can tell. And now we're gonna go fill it up with new oil. So now we're gonna add oil. So we take our oil fill cap off, put the funnel in, and my truck calls for 7 quarts of oil. Your vehicle probably will be different. What I do is, since mine calls for 7, I dump in 6.5 quarts and then check where the oil level is at. Alright, so I'm at 6.5 quarts now, which is technically half a quart less than what my car calls for. I'm going to check the oil and make sure it's not over full, and if it needs more I'll add more, and if it doesn't I won't. So right now my oil level is about right at the top of full, and that's about a half quart less than what it calls for. What you want to do is run your car for a while, be 10 minutes, and then check it again afterwards so the oil can get all the way through the system, and then add more if it needs more, just up to the full level of the oil. And the last thing you do before starting or running or anything, just go ahead, take the funnel out and put the oil cap back on, and then you're ready to run it for a while. Now you know how to change your oil, hopefully, and just watch your mileage on your car. A lot of cars will tell you when to change the oil, and also it should be in your owner's manual when you're going to need to do it again.